Hey y'all, welcome back to our channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm KJ, by the way. This is my mama, and today we are back with another reaction video, so sit back, grab a snack, and let's go. Alright guys, you see the title, White Woman Gives Birth to 3 Black Babies. We're just gonna watch the video, because I can't even begin to figure out how that works.
A very interesting and possibly controversial story has recently been flooding the internet. Aaron and Rachel Halbert are a white couple that adopted 2 beautiful children of color. This being extremely common and nothing but positive, they never had much negative feedback in that area of their life. The controversy begins with the story of their biological children. With good intentions and nothing but love in their hearts, Aaron and Rachel gave birth to black children. While it may seem like a cut and dry story, there are a lot of important details beneath the surface. Aaron's parents were missionaries, which resulted in the family being raised in Honduras. Needless to say, with his blonde hair and blue eyes, Aaron didn't look like the others in his community. Racial prejudice never played a role in Aaron's life growing up. All were equal, the way it should be. While Aaron grew up in Honduras, Rachel was raised in the Delta of Mississippi. Because of this, their childhoods were much different. Even so, they were both raised by Christian families and ended up extremely similar to one another. Throughout their relationship, they discovered more similarities than they would have expected. Throughout the years, Rachel ended up visiting Haiti a few times. These trips have been said to change her life tremendously. According to the Washington Post, Aaron has stated that it wasn't until she took a few trips to Haiti that the veil of racial prejudice was lifted from her eyes. This has caused some controversy for obvious reasons. One major thing that drew this couple closer was their passion to adopt. Apparently, they've both always known that they would like to adopt at some point in their life. This was a huge stepping stone in their life as they started to really consider their options. Never would they have thought that they would end up where they did. Aaron and Rachel finally started connecting with adoption agencies. They were absolutely thrilled at the idea of bringing a child into their loving home. As the Halberts spoke with different agencies, they told each one the same thing. They would accept any child with one exception. This one exception that they made clear to the agencies was that they would not adopt a fully Caucasian baby. They reported to the Washington Post.
Wait a minute. I just have to question why anybody would make racial specifications as to which kid they're going to adopt, you know?
Right.
Like that's like the big question mark looming over my head right now. Why would you say, oh, I'm not going to adopt a fully white baby though? Like, if a kid is in the system, they all need parents regardless of what race they are. So that is really throwing me off.
Right.
Like, no.
We did this with the deeply held conviction that if the Lord wanted us to have a fully Caucasian child, my wife would conceive naturally. They shared their concerns for creating a biracial family. They knew they'd deal with plenty of ignorant people and that they would have to deal with the glares, the scoffs, etc. They prepared themselves for it, but did not let it discourage them. This is where their unexpected journey really begins. Aaron and Rachel went on to adopt 2 beautiful children. They adopted a 3-year-old black boy and a 2-year-old biracial girl. In no time, they had a wonderful, happy little family. The kids felt safe and at home very quickly, and the couple was overjoyed by all of it. But there was still something missing. Even though Aaron and Rachel's hearts were full with these wonderful children, they still felt they wanted to experience the beauty of childbirth. When they made the decision to give their adoptive children a new brother or sister, they decided an unconventional route. This is where the controversies began to arise. Aaron and Rachel had the thought that they wanted their birth child to fit in with its brother and sister as much as possible. This led to the idea of adopting a black embryo and, yes, giving birth to a black child. Many people have conflicting opinions, but clearly this couple's intentions were pure. With their minds made up, Aaron and Rachel headed over to the National Embryo Donation Center, a Christian embryo bank, and received an in vitro fertilization done with 2 embryos. The couple was ecstatic to be on their way to giving their children a brother or a sister of color. After the transfer, the wait felt like the longest of their lives.
Once again, even with the embryo, because I've heard of embryo adoption, but I didn't know they separated them based on race, you know? So, once again, why the specifications? I mean, I can understand wanting the kid to fit in with its siblings, but even if the kid ended up being white, well then, you two are white, so don't they kind of feel like they would have fit in anyway? Like, I'm not understanding this at all.
Serving as missionaries in Honduras, they went to a local hospital to check on the transfer. When Aaron and Rachel found out that the transfer was successful and she was pregnant, they were filled with joy. What they found out next flipped their world around completely. Speaking to the doctor in what Aaron said was broken Spanish, they seemed a bit lost in translation when he questioned the number of embryos they had transferred. He continuously had to reassure the doctor that they transferred 2 embryos, and he was confused as to why he kept asking in the first place. After moments of confusion and back and forth with the doctor, they discovered that Rachel was pregnant with triplets. The doctor explained to the couple that both embryos took, and one of those embryos had split in 2. They were filled with overwhelming emotion to hear this news. Aaron said the entire pregnancy felt like a miracle to him. He stated that watching his beautiful children of color kiss his white wife's stomach filled him with joy. The whole situation made them really appreciate racial unity, and they were nothing short of ecstatic to meet their triplets. When the day came to welcome their triplets into the world, they were nervous and excited, as with all deliveries. When the doctor successfully delivered 3 healthy baby girls, their family was finally complete. They're grateful every day that their story ended up the way it did. Aaron told the Washington Post, "We live in a world with hundreds of thousands of embryos frozen in the United States alone. Most who aren't selected by their biological parents are donated to science or destroyed or kept frozen. If Christians or others really believe life begins at conception, it follows that we should respond by being willing to support embryo adoption and even take part in it ourselves." While this story is beautiful to many, a lot of people have negative views on it. Unfortunately, race can understandably cause a lot of controversy. In the end, the most important part is that these children are all safe and happy, being raised by a couple that loves and cherishes them every day.
Let us know in the comments below, like, have you heard of this story? Like, what are your feelings on it when it comes to the whole race thing about it? Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see y'all in our next one. Bye, guys.